Good morning. It's Tuesday, May the 10th, and you're tuned to the Celtic Way Morning Briefing Live with myself, Tony Haggerty, Haggerty10 Twitter handle, and Sean Martin at Sean Martin TCW. You know the drill by now, but we'll flag it up again. We've got a new sponsor, as you can see in the top left of your screen and in the middle. It's the One Football app, and the One Football app, ladies and gentlemen, is a one-stop football shop for scores, news, lineups, etc. So all you do is download the app on your phone, and the description is in the link. But we thank them for their sponsorship of the Celtic Way daily briefing. Sean, how are you?
All right, I was hiding behind the banner there, I think. Aye, fine, Tony. Aye, yourself?
Yes. All roads lead to Dundee tomorrow night. Yes, morning, Rab. Morning, Martin.
Morning, Euro 250. First chance to tune in live, a rare chance to tune in live. That's always good to see.
Yes.
So, Washington, D.C. as well, Tony.
Oh, there you go.
Just call us Mr. Worldwide.
Hello, Cameron. How you doing? Good morning to you, or good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is in Washington, D.C. There you go. But as always as well, if you want to watch these videos and read a lots of top analysis and opinion pieces from all the contributors, you can subscribe to the Celtic Way for £3 for 3 months, for the next 3 months. And all you have to do is www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. And we thank everybody that's already done that, and any new subscribers who want to come on board. We thank you for that too. Now, Sean,
Tuesday. Hold on, Tony.
Morning, hail.
I know that we've been called worse double accident. That's not bad. That's
well, to be honest, that should be ancient, really.
I don't know, with the bit of forehead on me now, so that hairline's taking it back. So.
Is that confusing? Do you want us on the same side all the time, guys? Let us know in the comments. Do you want us on the same side? We'll accommodate that. Sean, Tuesday before the Wednesday night at Tannadice, is your excitement building? Are you just happy to see this over the line if Celtic can get the Solskjaer point acquired?
I think so, aye. The thing about it is, because it's, I mean, you kind of said off air there, there's almost an anticlimactic feeling to it, and it's hard to disagree with that, just because there's very little drama about it, because they've put themselves in such a good position, such a insurmountable position, that it is a matter of time. And I think it's more, you know how I've been talking about the performance column and the result column, it's still about both, but arguably the last two games maybe slightly in the performance column now, because it's going to happen. So
I'm actually quite glad it's anticlimactic, Sean, to be fair. I don't know if I could have held out for that. And they have Shredder in the last two games, and I think a lot of Celtic supporters like that as well. But I think it's just a feeling that it'll be great to celebrate it when it does happen. And I think Celtic, you said yesterday they'll get 3 points. I said they'll get the point acquired, but I think they'll win in Wednesday night as well myself.
I think, I mean, again, it's not necessarily in context of this title race. You done the piece on, you've got a piece on the website this morning, and you quoted I think it was a BBC report that said that there was a club in paralysis last year after the Tannadice, after the Tannadice result, when they kind of officially lost their title. So you kind of take it in that context as well. Yeah. And suddenly it's not quite as anticlimactic as what I'm making out, is it?
Well, my thought process with that was, if this is a club in paralysis 12 months ago, they are now swaggering and swashbuckling their way to the league title at the first time of asking under Ange. That was the thrust of the piece. You can have a read it, guys. It's on the website. And that was kind of, I just remembered that when I saw that. Some things kind of jar with you. You think, all right. And I think, and further down, it was like, it's an incredible fall from grace. It was the first title Celtic lost in 10 years.
I know.
I was trying to get some kind of perspective on it, and then I realised this is the perspective I'm getting on it now. So at the first time,
it's one of those. See, one of those things. It's like remember the first moments that mattered I done early in the season was the 3-3 draw at Kilmarnock. 3-0 down at half time. Neil Lennon's like basically the first 9 in the first title and the second 9 in a row. It's weird that you get these kind of bookends. Obviously, that was in the one season that Lennon thought he was going to lose his job that day. 3-0 down at half time, came back, drew 3-3, went on a massive unbeaten run. overturned a deficit at the top and then won the title at Rugby Park. And another 6-goal thriller, but it was 6-0 to Celtic this time. It's weird how you get the bookends like that, and although it's across 2 different seasons, it's almost the same thing here, where Tannadice, they can officially reach their nadir last season, and then this season it's where they're going to pick up the title again.
Again, that's the point I was making in that piece as well. And that's another point I was making as well. I think it's fitting and it's apt. The place that they officially lost the 10 in a row last season is now the place where they could regain it back, which was part of the Paradise lost, Paradise reclaimed piece on Saturday as well, and the fans just celebrating the poetic justice in that, I guess, as we can say. Now, Sean, you would have noticed on social media yesterday, former Celtic captain actually hung up his boots and he retired. And there was a wonderful montage and some wonderful words from Celtic captain, leader, legend Scott Brown. And now there's this clamour to get Scott Brown to present the trophy to Callum McGregor on Saturday. I don't know what your thoughts are on that particular scenario, but he's been a wonderful skipper for Celtic and he'll be fondly remembered, won't he?
Oh, 100%. I mean, he's not just for the haircut, which is magnificent, but 14 seasons, 10 league titles, 6 Scottish Cups, 6 League Cups, and you forget the amount of individual awards as well. We get 2 Players Player of the Year, a Football Writers Player of the Year, was in the PFA team of the season 5 times. His legacy's beyond reproach, and I think, despite all those individual accolades, he's somebody I could make a good argument that he was probably a bit underrated as a footballer, Tony.
Completely and utterly underrated. I also said as well, he had nothing to prove because he played against the best and he competed against the best and held his own against the best, and he satisfied all his ambitions at Celtic. Maybe, I don't know, I've never heard him say it, but he maybe could have played in Celtic teams that achieved more in Europe, but he still achieved in Europe with Celtic, so that's maybe something that he maybe, I don't think players harbour regrets, but I always thought he was one of these players who never thought the grass would be greener on the other side, because he was linked with clubs.
I remember Newcastle, was it, and stuff?
Yeah, Newcastle as well, and he never
remember 4.4 million from Hibs, and he obviously had the kind of his sister dying while he was still in his kind of infancy as a Celtic player and all that. Come back from that, ended up getting the captaincy. Wasn't actually played centre mid for a good period of time. Remember, if he filled in at right mid, made that his own as well for a while, and then moved back in at the centre and was never out the team after that. Really, as I say, his legacy is beyond reproach. Now, as for the topic of should they be invited to hand the trophy to Callum McGregor on Saturday, which I've seen suggested on social media, and it is only socials chat for now, to be honest. It's not something the club have confirmed or anything, but I mean, what do you think, Tony? You've got Timon on there saying it would be a nice touch, bit of closure from last season. You've also got Gary McDowell saying Callum deserves to take the glory without Scott Brown there handing him the trophy. Yeah,
it's a tough one, isn't it? I think the sentimentalists would like it, and I said to you off camera that it would be a symbolic kind of handing of the baton, really, wouldn't it? The former captain presenting Callum with the trophy to begin his era of success. And I think Callum deserves his moment too. So I'm very torn about this one. I think Callum deserves the right to be his own man and have his own moment, and it not combined with another kind of moment. I think it's all about what Callum has helped the team achieve this season, and Ange and the players. Scott Brown, if he wants to come back and have a moment, I think we can have a moment. Yeah, and it's a strange one, isn't it? Part of you wants it, but part of you's like, I'm not too sure.
Get Brown to do the half-time draw.
I thought Snoop Dogg was doing the half-time draw.
Aye, well, we'll see. He's drawn gin and juice everywhere, I think, by the same time he was wanting to host. But I think with Scott Brown, I see it both ways. He's a verified club legend. You've got to remember, he was a big influence on Callum McGregor's career as well.
Correct,
so he might might like it. He might want him there. But
well, that's the thing. He might.
This isn't like when the chat was about taking Scott Brown back as a first team coach mid-season.
Yeah.
When I think both of us were kind of the opinion that you kind of maybe it wasn't the time to come back as a first team coach, given what was at stake and all of that kind of thing. This is just handing over a trophy. Now, it's not usually an ex-player that does it. It's obviously like a league representative or sponsor. It'll probably be Ryland that will be handing it over. But
that would be popular as well.
As I imagine that double act, Ryland and Scott Brown. Brilliant. I mean, it's usually a league or a sponsored representative. But Scott Brown will be as chuffed for the team and for McGregor as any fan.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's really up to McGregor for me. It's up to McGregor and Postecoglou. I mean, he'd probably be there anyway, but do they want him to do that kind of ceremonial thing? Does he want to do it? He might not want to do it. I can definitely see both ways from people saying, like, give McGregor his time. Nobody handed it to Brown. No, Paul Lambert didn't come and give it to Brown, that kind of thing, or Stephen McManus, as far as I'm aware. I can't remember that. But so give McGregor his moment. Alternatively, Scott Brown and him played together in many a title-winning team. He might actually like that. It might be a nice touch for McGregor as well, to get that wee pat in the back from Brown one last time. But there's also, and Patrick McLaughlin's put up this comment here, which is a good shout. If you're looking for another way to acknowledge Brown but not have him right there on Saturday doing the kind of the handing over the trophy, unfurling the flag in August. I'm presuming he's not got a manager's job or a coach's job on that day later in the year. That's a decent shout, Tony, I think.
I also I like this shout as well from William Lamont. I quite like that one too. If you're talking about, and someone put up a comment saying it's a club steeped in sentimental history, I would quite like that too. So I'm not for or against it. It won't perturb me if Scott Brown does present Cal Mack with the trophy, and if he doesn't, so be it. It's not something I'm going to lose sleep over or go mental about. But I think he does. Callum McGregor does deserve his moment. Nearly D comes in there, sort of echoing what I'm saying without anyone else casting a shadow. I think it just depends where you fall on that one, doesn't it? Really,
I mean, this is a good point as well. And again, this is probably, and for me, actually, when you think about it in the column of no, then don't get him to do it, because if you're going to use it as the kind of sending off that Scott Brown didn't get, rather than McGregor's moment to lift the trophy as Celtic captain, then you're kind of getting into that territory where it might overlap. So, but I can see the logic as well. So Scott Brown, of anyone, deserved that kind of full house to wave him goodbye.
I'm not denying that. Yeah. And
next time it was at Parkhead was obviously in Aberdeen colours. So
I go back to his tweet though after the Ibrox victory, the 2-1 victory, and he tweeted that he enjoyed that one, lads, and he had a pint of Tennent's in his hand, didn't he? There was just a pint of Tennent's in the picture, and I thought, he's still one of the boys, which was nice to see, So I'm sure Scott Brown will have his moment at Celtic Park with the Celtic supporters. I think all the Celtic supporters will want that, So Charlie McGarvey coming in there and saying Scott Brown had his testimonial. It's fair enough. But there we go. But no, it just depends on where you stand on that. Now, tomorrow, Sean, I'm going to pass you over to Sean Postecoglou, who likes his team lineups and getting it right. So
you know what's going to happen now, Tony. 4 out of
11. Setting you up for a big fall so I can tweet you and say, I mean, I'm not too sure if it ain't broke. It wasn't broken Saturday, so I don't know if he'll go with the same 11, because there's not a need to get a result. I think they'll just relax and let it happen again, the way they did against Hearts.
I mean, I don't see the. I can see the logic. They played well. Again, opening 10 minutes, maybe not, but the rest of the game they played well. They were very good value for their win. It was a kind of dominant win after that. So unless, for instance, Juranovic is fit, unless someone else is taking a knock, then you could argue that the subs done really well coming on. But did they do it well enough to get the start? Maybe not. The thing is, I've sat here the last 2 predictions and said, well, Kyogo's the first choice striker, so regardless of what Giakoumakis has done, he's not getting in. But part of me thinks Tannadice would be ideal for Giakoumakis to come back in, but I can't. In truth, I can't see it. I think it will be. I think it will probably be the same team. Barring any revelations later on.
I've got a feeling that he might go with the same 11, Sean, as well. you know, because I thought Celtic played really well to get themselves back into the game after the initial, poor start, but it was 5 minutes, wasn't it? 10 minutes, whatever it was. August 11 Steamroller United Wednesday, Tim and on. But that's, fair enough. Brad McEwen, same 11 and a 5-0 victory. Lots of bold predictions here, Sean. Carol Starfelt on the score sheet. Sean's
don't tease me. Don't tease me, Tony.
Is he saving it for the Motherwell game, Sean? What do you think?
I don't know, but you know what's going to happen. It's been first goal scorer all season, so he will score, but it'll be the second goal.
You have to keep putting it on, because if you don't, it's going to come up.
I know.
Someone asked me earlier, I think it was Rosemary, if I was coming to Australia. I'll keep you posted on that one.
There's a couple of people asking.
Yes. Well, you'll know the day I wear the hat with the corks on it might give it away. All right. So if I present the bulletin like that, then you'll know what's happened. Yeah, and I promise I'll get there. Someone asked me about the Super Striker. I will get that out at some point and show you. I've not got long to do, but I will produce it from the box on the cover there somewhere. Now, Sean, another thing that might impinge on Celtic there, we spoke about it off air, the new Champions League rules that they're trying to bring in the format, raising the teams from 32 to 36 in a 10-round group stage. Is that right? 10 round instead of 6.
10 matches. 10 matches in 16 league phase, they're calling it.
And also a kind of reworking or rejigging of the coefficient. Basically, if you've got some sort of Champions League history, they'll shoehorn you in, even if you finish 6th or 7th in your league, a la Manchester United. Yeah. So they're not scrapping the coefficient per se, but they're just trying to shoehorn all the big teams in. Now, I've been on record as saying before, Sean, that I think if you have a gold star above your badge and you've contributed to the history and the success of that Champions League European Cup tournament, that you should automatically qualify for the Champions League without any need to play qualifiers. Because I think that defines you as a big club, the fact that you've won the Cup with the big ears. I've always said that, and I just think you touched on it as well. You said it's like winning the green jacket at the Masters. Once you achieve that, you can compete in every Masters. So I think if you win the title in your respective country and you have at least one gold star above your badge, and I think you shouldn't have to negotiate qualifiers. I think that's a privilege that clubs have because that defines them as a big club. My own thoughts, some people might think that's controversial, but I just think if you've contributed to the rich tapestry of success with the European Cup, Champions League, then that's a privilege that you should get if you win your respective league title. Your thoughts, Sean?
I don't necessarily agree with that, although it would obviously benefit Celtic. But I mean, I do agree with the sentiment that if you can't really claim to be a historically big club without having won the European Cup or the Champions League, because that was actually something that I saw in a clip from Sky the other day as well. Jamie Carragher was kind of arguing the toss about that with the Liverpool and Man City title race and Pep Guardiola's legacy with Man City, and he's got to win the European Cup to be a big club. And I couldn't disagree with him. I think he's got a point. That has always been the kind of gold standard. That's why it's the gold star, as you say. But in terms of whether that should actually, in fact, there's Gary McDowell saying exactly that.
I agree with that. I've always agreed with that. I think that's fair.
That'll be the same clip that I watched as well. This is another thing that riles me as well. It's almost been a misnomer since they made it the Champions League, because it's not just champions. That's just a misnomer. It's not champions that are in it all the time. But if you were given it as a kind of a past champions exemption into it, then it wouldn't necessarily be the Champions League either. If you know what I mean, it would be.
But I'm not saying Celtic should get in if they finish second. I'm talking about if they win the league. Right?
No, he says if they'd won the European Cup.
Aye, but I mean, if you...
But they don't need to win the European... Surely, if they won the European Cup, they've won it, whether they've finished third or fourth in the league or not, kind of thing.
Yeah, but
or do you just mean...
about if Celtic need to win the title, and because they've won a European Cup, then they should get...
right, so they still need to win the title for what you're saying, but they don't need to do qualifiers, basically.
They don't need to do qualifiers.
Right, okay, right.
That's what I mean, yeah.
I thought you were meaning if you'd won the Champions League or the European Cup, no matter what happens, you'd be in the tournament.
No, you have to win the title in order to bypass the qualifiers. I'm not saying they should get in for finishing second in the league. No, not at all. If you win the title, then because you've won, then you can automatically access the group stages. That's what I'm talking about. No.
The kind of proposals or the discussions today in Vienna, they're kind of wanting to keep 2 spots aside basically for 2 teams that miss out on conventional qualification through their league places. Now, to be fair, a lot of the domestic leagues in Europe are saying no, they don't want that, because obviously it almost dilutes what the importance of their final positions are.
Yeah.
If UEFA can just go, right, well, we're inviting you in regardless, that kind of thing. Again, I think that's just a bit of a mockery of it, really, to me. Just be able to pick somebody out and just saying, well, we don't want you to miss out, so you're in it this year, that kind of thing. Like an invitational thing, a wild card in another way. But the other thing that they're wanting to kind of discuss is, rather than see that when you get to the semi-final stage, rather than having a 2-legged semi-final on like 2 consecutive nights or whatever, instead they would have all 4 teams going to a single city and doing like a week of football.
Yeah, they did that last year, didn't they? COVID, they did that with COVID, didn't they?
I don't know if it's the same format or if it's another way that they're going to do it. But again, and you know, I like my basketball. I like the kind of playoffs, and obviously the kind of the college basketball they do. Once they get to the Final Four, they go to another city and stuff, and it's a home city rather than a home tie. I don't know if it's maybe going too far down that route though to do that. I don't actually think that there's much wrong with that kind of format when you get to the knockout stages that they've got at the moment. Just the final in a separate city and everywhere else a 2-legged affair. I don't know what you think, but
I wasn't too keen on that, to be honest. I think I don't want to tamper with the competition too much, because it's been since 1992. It's just been carved up to suit all the big clubs, hasn't it? You know, so I wouldn't want it carved up to suit them even more. But no, I'm a lover of the. I'm a traditionalist, Sean. I'd actually wanted to go back to the round robin. You go in a hat and you take your chance. You know, you're drawn against who you're drawn against, and
you know it won't happen. But I agree with you. I think I don't know if it's nostalgia, but it's just
it was a brilliant tournament. And if Real Madrid drew Bayern Munich, so be it. You know, one of them went out, and that's it.
The record of being able to say that every team that you beat in a certain tournament was a champion, all that kind of thing. It means that, for instance, the Lisbon Lions run, you look at it now, and because certain clubs have kind of fell back from where they were historically, you've got Nantes, you've got Dukla Prague you're talking about and stuff. That was like Nantes' best ever team, Dukla Prague's best ever team, the champions of those countries. Like, you don't necessarily get that these days. You don't necessarily get that.
Were the best team that Celtic played on that run, Sean. Jacques Stein said that Vojvodina were the best team. And that's the only game that Celtic lost on that run, the 1-0 away tie. Over there, 1-2 at home with Billy McNeil's last minute goal in the last 20 seconds. You know, so and that's when European football was a huge high. You had to beat champions, and if you lost over 2 legs, you were out. You know, so that was the point. You know, and you couldn't afford to lose an away tie or whatever back then, because that's how it seemed to pan out. But Celtic lost 1 match, still won the tournament. Whereas now you can lose multiple matches and still go through, and and then fall into other tournaments and stuff. And I'm not a lover of that. I always think you get one crack at Europe, or you should get one crack at Europe. And if you're not good enough, you're not good enough. So be it. Don't agree with sliding in and falling into other tournaments. And I've said that consistently. I just, I don't agree that Champions League, ones that fail in the Champions League should go into the Europa League. Just don't think that's right. But that's just me. Maybe I am just a Celtic dad and a traditionalist at heart. But there you go. The retro Celtic, the romance of the European Cup is gone. We could pick next season's semi-finalists now. I think we could as well. And that's the thing. Gary McDowell makes the point about Rangers playing 18 games and winning 7, and yet they're still in the final. So they've done something right.
No. Different context, I would argue. Different level of competition, different context, different. But it is a great achievement. You can't deny that, especially these days. But to go back to the Lisbon Lions, obviously Paul Byrne pointing out, you've got to remember the team that they played in the final, the dominance, the kind of the team that we're facing, everything. I mean, we're not even going to enter the debate, Tony, before it becomes anything. We're not going to enter a debate that what achievement would be better, because there is no doubt what achievement is better. Let's not even entertain that notion for a minute, because I think was it Kenny Miller tried to mention it, and I think Chris Sutton's response was all you need to know, the laughing faces.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Well, that's probably an apt time to call it a day, and we'll reconvene tomorrow, Sean.
Sorry, Tony, before I forgot, I'd start this so I could do it later on. We got asked to give a wee shout out to William Lamont's good lady, Debbie Farrell, loves the show. So hope you enjoyed, Debbie.
There you go.
There we go.
Debbie, how you doing? We'll give you a shout out and say hello. That's us going to be inundated with shout outs now. Sean,
we'll call us that in deck for nothing. We'll start charging for these things.
We've opened that Pandora's box. Nice one. And I'll just direct you to the sponsorship again, guys and ladies. Download the One Football app, one-stop football shop for scores, news, lineups, etc., etc. The description's in the link, so you're fine. You'll be able to do that if you download the One Football app. We say thank you to them for sponsoring the show. I hope they enjoy it. Thank you all for your contributions and your comments. We try and read as many out. Even Debbie Reynolds got a... Was it Debbie Reynolds, was it?
It was the Debbie Reynolds. Tony.
That's a famous actress, isn't it?
Come on, man.
What was her name?
Debbie
Farrell. That was it. There you go. I'm sure
Jeez.
she'll enjoy the comparison. Hello, Debbie. And along the bottom, you know what to do. £3 for 3 months. Hit the subscribe button. You can get a laugh like me making a card of it there. www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. It's been a long season, Sean. You know, so it wouldn't be the same if you didn't have some live outtakes, you know. So there you go. But yeah, so that's what to do, guys. Download the One Football app. As I say, the link's in the description. You'll see it there, and hit the subscribe button. Sean, tomorrow Dundee going to get it over the line, aren't they?
I think so, aye. We'll be back for the proper preview tomorrow. We'll have our predicted lineups live tomorrow morning. We'll come on here, discuss them in detail, see if I've convinced myself of another rotation game, and talk about the game in general.
Gerard Kyle having a go. Indeed. That's a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious shout there from Gerard Kyle. There you go, Try saying that, There we are. When you're full of gin and juice, as Sean said.
Something quite atrocious, Tony. Come on now.
What's that?
Something quite atrocious.
Yes, indeed. Have a wonderful Tuesday, guys. We shall see you on, hopefully, a wonderful Wednesday tomorrow.
Yep.
And we'll do it all again. Thanks for your contributions. Appreciate it always. Cheers, Sean.
Cheers, Tony. Cheers, guys.